Have you ever been in a room full of people and felt like you were the only one who didn't get the memo? You're standing there, trying to look busy, maybe scrolling on your phone, while everyone else seems to be effortlessly laughing, connecting, and building relationships. You have this feeling in your gut, a knot of anxiety that whispers, just don't say the wrong thing. Don't mess this up. Or maybe it's in a more personal moment. You're on a date or catching up with an old friend, and you can't stop worrying about what they think of you. You're so busy trying to seem interesting that you forget to just be yourself. You walk away feeling exhausted, defeated, and like you somehow failed at being a human being. What if I told you that all of those feelings, that anxiety, that knot in your stomach, is actually one of the most brilliant evolutionary designs your brain has ever created? What if your social anxiety isn't a flaw? What if it's a superpower? This isn't just about learning how to make small talk. This is about learning to understand your own mind, to stop fighting your social instincts, and to finally feel comfortable in your own skin in any social situation.
Phase 1, the reset, understanding your superpower. For years, I believed social anxiety was my enemy. Every time I felt that flutter in my stomach before a social event, I'd get frustrated. I'd think, why am I so broken? Why can't I just be confident? But I was looking at it all wrong. Social anxiety isn't a flaw. It's an ancient warning system. For our ancestors, being accepted by the tribe was a matter of life and death. Rejection meant being cast out, left to fend for yourself against the wilderness. Your brain evolved over millions of years to make social interaction matter. That flutter in your stomach isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that your brain is saying, hey, this is important. Pay attention. Don't mess this up. Once you stop fighting this instinct and start understanding it, it loses its power over you. Your brain is trying to protect you. It's an overzealous guardian. Our goal isn't to get rid of the guardian, but to train it to work for us, not against us. This is your first step. Don't fight the feeling. Acknowledge it. Thank it for trying to keep you safe. And then we learn how to use it. Phase 2, the upgrade, your social gym. You wouldn't expect to deadlift 400 pounds the first time you walk into a gym, right? You'd start with small, manageable weights. Social skills work exactly the same way. We need to stop trying to be a social butterfly overnight and instead build our social muscles, rep by rep. The secret to building these muscles is understanding that social interactions break down into tiny, simple movements, what I call micro skills. Micro skill number 1, the power of listening. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need to be the most interesting person in the room. The truth is, the most powerful social skill isn't talking, it's listening. Specifically, listening to understand, not to reply. I used to be a terrible listener. I'd be in a conversation, and while the other person was speaking, I was just waiting for my turn. I was mentally crafting my next witty response, my clever story, my insightful comment. I wasn't absorbing a thing they said. I was just waiting for the baton so I could start my race. People can feel that. They can feel when your mind is elsewhere, and it makes them feel unheard. Here's your first rep at the social gym. The next time you're in a conversation, focus entirely on what the other person is saying. When they finish, before you say anything, try to summarize what you heard in your own words. Something as simple as, so, it sounds like you're saying... This not only ensures you understand them, but it also makes them feel truly heard. It releases dopamine in their brain, the same chemical as when they eat their favorite food or receive money. You're literally giving their brain a reward just by listening. And when people feel understood, they naturally want to get to know you better. They'll be drawn to you. They'll open up. Your listening becomes your most powerful tool.
Micro skill number 2, curiosity as a superpower. Have you ever been asked, how's your day? It's a polite question, but it's a conversation killer. You give a generic answer, it's good, how about you? And the conversation dies. That's because it's a factual question. It doesn't unlock anything.
The truly socially skilled person isn't a great talker, they're a great explorer. They're genuinely curious about the other person. They see every person as a book with 1,000 pages, and they want to read beyond the cover. Here's how you turn curiosity into your superpower. Instead of asking factual questions, ask discovery questions. Instead of, "What do you do for work?" try, "What's the most interesting part of your job?" Or, "How did you get into that field?" Instead of, "How was your day?" try, "What was the best thing that happened to you today?" Or, "What was the most challenging part of your week?" These questions create an immediate energy shift. You're inviting them to share a story, not just a fact. You're moving the conversation from the surface to something meaningful. When you're genuinely curious about someone, your brain is too busy being fascinated to be anxious. Your focus shifts from "How am I doing?" to "What can I learn about this person?" And that shift is everything. Microskill number 3, strategic vulnerability. People often mistake social skills for being perfect. They think they have to be witty, flawless, and always have the right thing to say, but that's a lie. The fastest way to build a connection isn't to show how strong you are, it's to show you're human. In my early days, I was afraid of making mistakes. I would be so careful, so guarded. But being guarded doesn't build trust, it creates a wall. Vulnerability is your secret weapon, but it's not about spilling your guts to a stranger. It's about strategic, progressive vulnerability. Think of it like a dance. Your partner takes a small step towards you, and you take a small step back. It feels uncomfortable. But when they take a small step towards you and you take a small step towards them, you create a connection. Here's how to do it. Start with a small, safe disclosure. For example, in a conversation, you could say, "I'm still figuring this out," or "I was really nervous about this presentation." These are simple admissions that you don't have all the answers. They give the other person permission to be vulnerable too. When they respond with, "Yeah, I feel that way too," you've just built a bridge. This isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. It shows that you're relatable and authentic. It builds trust faster than almost anything else. People are drawn to people who are real, not people who are perfect.
Phase 3. The Master. Becoming the Connector. Once you've mastered the basics, listening, being curious, and being human, you move from being a good communicator to being a social architect. Your goal is no longer just to have a conversation. It's to create spaces where connection can happen naturally. The 3 people theory. Every person you meet isn't just one person. There are 3. There's who they think they are, who others think they are, and who they truly are. Understanding this changes everything. Think about yourself. You have a clear picture of who you are, but the version of you that your coworker sees is completely different from the version your family sees, and both are different from who you truly are. When someone says something that hurts or offends you, remember you're probably just seeing one of their 3 versions, and they might be having a difficult day you know nothing about. This perspective alone will make you more empathetic, less judgmental, and less likely to take things personally. It's like a superpower for your social intelligence. Context banking. The most impressive people aren't the ones who remember your name. They're the ones who remember the details that matter. This is context banking. It's your secret weapon for building lasting connections. When you're in a conversation, don't just listen for what they're saying. Listen for what's important to them. If they mention an upcoming presentation at work, a sick family member, or a trip they're planning, make a mental note. When you follow up with them later, you're not just saying, "Hi." You're saying, "I heard you. I remembered you. You matter to me." A simple email or text a few days later saying, "Hey, just wanted to see how that presentation went," can build more trust and rapport than a year of small talk. It's a signal that you're not just a passive participant in a conversation, you're actively building a connection. Social momentum. Think of social skills like a car engine. When you first start it after a long break, it's cold, rusty, and awkward. But once you get it running, it gets smoother and more efficient. That's social momentum. You don't have to go to a huge party to build social skills. You can start with a 5-minute social rep. A brief chat with a barista, a quick conversation with a cashier, or a friendly hello to a neighbor.
Each small interaction is like pushing a boulder. The first push is the hardest, but with each push, it gets easier. Look for opportunities to have low-stakes, low-pressure interactions every single day. The person at the gym, the person at the grocery store, the person who works at your favorite coffee shop. A few small conversations a day can build more social skills than one huge party a month. It keeps your engine warm and ready to go.
The final takeaway. So let's wrap this up. Your social anxiety isn't a flaw. It's a powerful tool. Your brain is working perfectly. Our goal is to train it. It starts with the reset. Understanding that feeling in your gut is a sign that something matters. Then you move to the upgrade, building your social muscles with micro skills like listening, curiosity, and strategic vulnerability. And finally, you become the master, using tools like context banking and social momentum to build real, lasting connections. This isn't a secret formula. It's just a different way of looking at a problem. It's a different game, and you already have everything you need to win. So I have a challenge for you. Start today. Don't go to a party. Don't try to be the life of the room. Just try one of the micro skills we talked about. Listen to understand, not to reply. Or ask a discovery question. Or try one of the small 5-minute social reps. Do it right now. Because the world needs to hear your voice. It needs to see you. And you are more than ready to show up.